Welcome to the Daily High, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night in Australia. Tone, how are you, mate? Interesting times.
Oh yeah, that was one hell of a 24 hours. We're gonna try to dissect it for you. It was definitely a roller coaster. Seems to be the word everyone's using.
Yeah.
And looking good now though, after a rough 24-hour period.
Yeah, it is looking good now. And most of the action happened once again while I was asleep. I I'll go through it now. Well, why don't we get launched straight into it? Let's go. Let's go. No
Go
more
for it.
mucking around. All right. So as anyone who watches the show knows, we have dropped a little bit in the last few seconds here. As everybody knows, I was in the trade from wherever, 52 or something like that. And I was in really good profit. And I was really hoping that we would crack on through here. But I said it in the show last night. I'm taking at least zero point 0.5 Bitcoin out of this trade. I don't care what happens. That's my mental stop loss. But I didn't have a physical stop loss in. And I don't know what time it was last night. I have no idea. Just at some period last night, in the middle of the night, I don't know where along this channel it was. Don't know what time it was, but I woke up and saw the market was free falling, and it was happening. Like I looked at it with like one eye opened, and the market was dropping by the hundreds in the but by seconds. So I just market closed the position. I ended up taking 0.48 Bitcoin out of the trade. Very disappointed with that because when we closed the show out last night, I was in about 0.62, something like that, unrealized profit. But hey, for 5 days in a trade, that's a pretty bloody good week. If I could do that every week, I wouldn't be doing these shows. But that was quite good. But then we crashed all the way down. Let's do a measured move on that. I know that everyone watching, yeah,
I'm
obviously
guessing 10%. My guess is 10%.
it's more. It's more. I think it's more like 15. But let's have a quick gander. Um, yeah. So
Oh, whoa.
yeah, 14 and
Oh,
a half.
15. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nearly
Wow.
15% move. That's a hell of a wick down. The previous day when we approached the all-time high, we'll go into it on the hourly chart. It had a 5.5% correction. So we'll round it to 15. It was substantial sell-off. So you might notice all these lines in here right now. I'm going to delete a few because I want to clean the page up, and I want to do this on camera. This is something I've learned from Tone. There was a great comment in last night's show that as particularly me keep saying, oh, here, there, but I'm not saying prices. Okay. So I'll do my best to try and incorporate the price. So for people who are just listening, I'm deleting the all-time high marker because I want to clean that up. We did breach the all-time high. We got to a new all-time high. It was just, how long was it for, Tone? I was asleep. Was it like 2 seconds
About
or?
a minute and a half. It was about for
Oh,
about a minute and a half.
okay. All right. Cool. So I'll leave this in for now because I'll go into a lower time frame. Um, right now, I really like that it's recovered that almost the entire amount here with a 12 hours left in this day. It's reasonable to think on the daily time frame that this is going to be a really positive candle. All credit goes to the MRI top here on the daily, and Tone, I'll leave that for you to go into. 12-hour time frame right here. Yeah, well, that was just a great just a great crash down. I'll have to go on a lower time frame to get something here. 4 hour time frame. I at this once we came down and I woke up in the morning. And I was just watching it throughout the day, recover. At let's call it lunchtime today. So about midday today. What about 1 o'clock today? I actually put a $140,000 2x leverage long back on from this blue line right here. And I'm deleting this line right now because as we tore up and got above the 7 simple moving average, I added an additional, I think it was $70,000 to the position. So this blue line right here is my average entry right now. So it's another good trade, 200 and
Yeah, I have a screenshot of Matt's trade. You're in 210. Damn, that's a big position, buddy.
I mean the leverage is not much, right? So I mean because
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're only at 3x leverage. I see it.
yeah,
I see its position. Yeah.
yeah. So and actually when I put the trade on, I shouldn't have deleted that line, but when I put the trade on was exactly at the start of this candle here. I had a actually, the initial position was only for the $140,000 contract, was only a 2x leverage position. So I had this red line right here. I had a 0.6 stop loss in place, and on the lower time frames, on the hourly time frame, you can see why I did that. I'm sorry I deleted that line, but that was here. I had a stop loss in right here when I initially entered the trade. So that was only at 0.6. So I mean, I'm going to delete that now. I was satisfied with that.
Oh yeah, by the way, that entry, that stop loss is right out of my book for stop and entries, exits, and stop losses. I would have entered personally a little bit later. I would have entered at the break of the closing highs. Yep, right there. That's where my entry would have been. So my entry would have been a smidge higher than yours. But that is the perfect stop loss below that red star candle.
I'll tell you why I took the trade and because I had a really defined stop loss. I really liked that we came back into on the 1 hour time frame now, that we came back in below the 200 simple moving average. We got a green diamond on the 1 hour time frame. We had a bounce up, but back to sort of the point of where it broke out in the first place. We came back down, but we put in a higher low. This was the sort of that classic pattern here. So I was able to put on the trade at the start of the MRI count with a stop loss just below the low, because I didn't like this fully. That's why I was only 2x leverage, because if we came down and created lower lows here, I would have easily got out of this at 0.6.
You're three x leveraged. You're 3x leveraged.
I was initially 2x leveraged.
Oh, now you're 3x leveraged.
And
okay, when you add it to the position, got it.
I upped. I used 100% of my that trading account to go in at 140 contracts at 2x, and then I upped the leverage to 3 to free up more capital and add an additional 70,000 in.
Okay, when Matt says 140 contracts, he means 140,000 contracts. Yeah, so we are talking. So yeah, we're adding 3 zeros to that, because I'm looking at his trade from my end.
Yeah. I'm not sharing my trades publicly, but just for verification, I've sent
a good idea. Yeah. That was my advice to Matt. That never share your trades publicly. Nothing good will happen.
Well, I just did
share it with some friends, but
I did it once. One of the first in the first week, I was talking about a trade that I just put on, and somebody called me out and called bullshit on it. So I posted that on Twitter, like, this is a real thing. I showed everything. And then I thought, I don't want to do this for every time I trade. This is ridiculous. I don't want my Twitter to fill up with fucking trades. I'm not bragging, but so it's just for verification. I just send every trade I do to Tone, so he'll back me up on all of them. So yep. So then it was a really good entry for me, because I had a really defined stop loss, which was really, really near to the price, just from here to here. I was happy to take that. And sure, we could have got wicked out and whatever, but I mean, I was happy to take it at midday. This trade is looking quite good. The 15-minute time frame, I'm really happy that once again, Bangbox is back in play here. So let's turn off the additional indicators. Yeah, so we got the signal on Bangbox here. The trade is still in profit, but this has room, because the way that the theoretical bot that's coming soon is designed, you've got 2% to the downside to play with here. It tends to get into the trade and then has a bit of a pullback, and then it steadies steam. But I don't like that it's dropping really quickly right now. But I'm still happy that we're recalibrated there. All right. The last thing I'll look at just before I hand it over to Tone is on just the weekly. I'd like to have an overview of what the weekly looks like right now. It's still very, very positive, obviously. The fact that we're still in line with 4.5 days left for a new weekly high close. A lot can happen in the next 4.5 days, but it's nothing to fret about. The crash that we had for 15% yet last night has fully recovered, and the candle looks really strong once again. So I'll hand that back to you, Tone. I'm happy with everything that as we are right now.
All right. Let's go, and I'll do my little review and explain what I did with my trade.
Yeah, did you pull it? Did you pull it at the right time? You said you would.
I did, and but I pulled only 20%, and by end of day, I'm like, I was posting in my Telegram group. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Why did I only take 20% off the market? I should have taken like 80% off the market because it was crashing so bad right after. And this morning, I'm like, man, why did I take anything off the table? We could be up higher than my exit by the time the market opens again. So this is the problem with trading U.S. market open trading hours, is that you are a bit at the mercy of what happens throughout the majority of a trading day for Bitcoin. So let's do the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, we're halfway through the 5th week of the MRI count. Pretty certain that the halving will take place the week of April 15th, somewhere between, like 18th of April and like 21st of April. That's where the halving is scheduled for. So if the MRI is on schedule, I still think we could be in the $80,000 to $90,000 range, basically in the 80s. I drew this box between 84 and 92. Maybe I should, give myself a little bit extra wiggle room, bring it down to 79. So this is where I'm looking for price to be, in the vicinity of the halving. Now, the next milestone line, sorry, that's on my daily chart. The next milestone target that I have, other than the MRI hitting a weekly MRI top, is the Fibonacci extension, but that's all the way at 102,000. I personally would be very surprised if we hit that before the halving, but if we hit that anytime, next year or this year, I would not be surprised if we're hitting it closer to late summer. Now, what about my allocation? My allocation, I sold 20%. I didn't catch the perfect top, but I was pretty damn close. I sold at about 10:30 a.m. Yesterday, I should have sold right at 10 a.m. because the top literally came at 10 a.m. And those of you that have watched me for years know what I always say about the 10 a.m. reversal. 10 a.m. is the best time for a trade. You wait like 5-10 minutes to make sure that things are actually reversing, but we reversed at exactly 10 a.m. I'll show it to you on a shorter term chart. Now, why did I pull 20% out of my trade, even though Consensio said stay 100% bullish in the trade? And it's going to tell you this for a little while. I didn't like the daily MRI top, even though this is the 4-day MRI top. We broke the all-time high, and I thought that the FOMO just took us there. The last guy bought, and there's nobody left to buy. And the price did go up too much, too fast in a short amount of time, which was the same excuse I used last time. I pulled profit out of my trade back mid-February. But that's not the reason why I pulled profit out of my trade back before the Bitcoin ETFs. That one was solely due because of Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, so let's go to that daily chart. On the daily chart, I had a slightly different box of where I would be looking to pull profit, and it would be right at the prior all-time high, not adjusted for inflation. There's an all-time high that is adjusted for inflation, and that takes us up to $78,500. That is the inflation-adjusted all-time high, and that is yet another major milestone for Bitcoin. I caught very close to the high. If I want to be super accurate, it was more like down here, like right there. And I actually sold it on the way up, not down. I didn't. I don't know. I should have waited for that 10 a.m. Now that it's early, my memory is coming back to me. I sold FBTC at about $59 and like 90 cents, and it broke 60. It went to like $60.60 or something on FBTC. I actually ended up selling it on the way up just before the all-time high, and then right after that, for the next hour, I'm like, man, why did I sell? This thing is going to 100,000. And then by the evening, I'm like, man, why did I sell only 20%? And this morning, it's somewhere in between now. Wow, we are pulling back hard.
Tone, I didn't want to jump in on you, but you need to go to a low time frame right now. It's very volatile, very, very volatile right now. Look at this.
Yeah, we are a little volatile this morning. However, as long as we stay above these 1 hour moving averages, I'm not that concerned.
Yeah,
Right now,
if you see me disappear for a minute, I have to do something.
yeah,
Give me.
yeah, he may have to exit his trade and take his profit. So I am leaving the line of the all-time high, not because the all-time high matters anymore, but because the all-time high happens to be a double top. And once we break this all-time high line, technically a little bit lower than that, I become very, very bullish in the market. And I think we're going to go into the mid 70s, if not low 80s. What we need to avoid right now is the break of the prior swing low, that initial stop loss that Matt had put in. In fact, I would say even if it gets anywhere near this vicinity, and that vicinity is 62,800, I would be very, very concerned that lower prices are coming. I would even raise that line all the way to 63,750. If the market is trading below 63,750 after 10 a.m., I think Eastern time, I think Bitcoin is in a little bit of trouble looking for lower prices. Let me go back to the daily chart. What does the MRI top mean to me? And how was I projecting the MRI top into the future? So I took my profit, part of my profit, looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction, and this was tweeted out on the Financial Summit Twitter handle. Looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction. Now, that 1 to 4 candle correction does not have a price target, but I have a mental price target. My price target for the 1 to 4 candle correction had a maximum of hitting the short-term 20-period moving average on the daily, which yesterday was down in the $56,000 range. And on the fourth day of the pullback, it would be in the $59,000 range. So I would really like to see the price hit that moving average. However, the problem is that since we already fell down to 59,000, even for a minute, if we go there again, it creates a double bottom, which sucks for my trading strategies. So I really think we have corrected based on price. We just haven't corrected based on time. And I still think it's going to take us till next week to break the all-time high again. But I also think that the price low is in, but I'm not as sure about that. So I'm just going to stick with my smaller position. And if we go down below 63, I will make that position potentially even smaller, not risking the confidence of a reversal on the fourth day. But if we do break the all-time high during midday trading hours, I will put that 20% back in at the price I exited. So hope that kind of explains it.
This
Matt,
is
floor is yours.
Yeah. I just jump in for a second. This actually, for me, I love the action that we're seeing in Bitcoin right now. And let's just stay on this hourly for a second to get to terms with what's happened. We've just dropped from 67.5 down to 64.5 or whatever. We have to do a measured move on it. You got the screen. In a blink of an eye, that is a washout for people who are just piling in to get long because we've recovered on the 15% drawdown that we had in the day. I like these stop hunts. Like we just crashed 4%. Guys, we just crashed 4% in a blink of an eye. I actually love that. I love that because how often any real traders who stare at the market all day, every day, right before a pump, you get a massive clean out. Now it could go either way. This like if you think that just buying a breakout of the all-time high right here is going to be the same as buying a breakout from a long consolidated period, a few weeks ago, I think you're in for a bit of a shock to either direction. You could be shocked in a great trade or shocked in one of these washouts, a continued washout. This is really, really, really tough trading zone. I know that the last year has been the easiest trading you've probably ever experienced where we've gone just almost vertical, but this is tricky, Tone. Like you know what I mean, like that the orange line you've got in there at the all-time high, obviously that if you were looking at in a bubble, getting above that line is a breakout trade, piece of cake. But at these kind of prices, after so long of not being near them, I think that the volatility is going to be a lot more extreme, and there'll be a lot more of these 5% bang. Trying to lever up. I know I'm rambling, but levering up 10x and above, you're asking for issues here, trying to get into the positions here, big time, I reckon. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely a 10x trade where the market can go down 10% in a single hour is kind of crazy. But like if we're trading above 67,500 in the next few hours, I'm going to be super bullish.
Yeah.
Super bullish.
If we keep doing these little 5% washouts, like split washouts, if we keep cutting out the easy money, washing them out, washing them out, then yeah, then definitely. But if we just went straight up to that point right now without this washout, it'd be very dangerous for a breakout, I reckon. It's hard.
Yeah, the S&P had a rough day yesterday, is slowly recovering today, and Bitcoin miners are having issues still.
Good pre-market.
We have Bitfarms and others are still lagging behind. Very unfortunate. Let's see how it goes today. And I still think Bitcoin is going to pump into the $80,000 range before the halving. That is still my target, mostly based on the MRI. Hopefully, it brings all the miners with it into the halving, but people are probably scared to invest in the miners so close to the halving because they don't know which are going to shut down their operations after the halving. I think Bitfarms is one of the better companies with solid books. That's my opinion. CleanSpark is there as well. As far as the rest, I don't trust them as much.
Mm. What's Bitcoin doing?
All right, that's pretty much it for me. Gold is pushing new all-time high. I'm bullish on gold. We were in a Twitter space yesterday with Joe Colasari. I had no idea he was that bearish on gold. He thinks gold is worth zero. I had no idea he had a view like that. As you guys know, I'm not crazy about gold, but I do think it's going to 3,000.
It's not worth zero. It's not. It's not worth zero for the same reason that Bitcoin's not worth zero, because I'll buy it. I'll take it. And do you know what I mean? Like that's my argument for Bitcoin. Okay, sure, it'll drop. I'm happy to buy it. And the same with gold. This is interesting. Can you just go to the really short, like 5 minute or something right now to see if how it
Yeah, real quick though, guys, keep in mind, Bitfarms is going to report earnings tomorrow morning. So this is Wednesday, Thursday morning before market open. Bitfarms report earnings. You guys know my rules on earnings. Do not hold directional positions through earnings. I do feel good and comfortable with Bitfarms. So it would be a small calculated risk I would take on holding through earnings. But you guys also know me saying that I was never going to hold NVIDIA through that last earnings, and I expected NVIDIA to have a bad price move even on good earnings, and I was clearly wrong on that one. I was certainly right on Coinbase, where I expected Coinbase to have a monster upswing off of their earnings, regardless if they were good or bad. And Coinbase did have a monster move on earnings, and ever since. Earnings are very unpredictable, so be very, very careful holding Bitfarms through earnings day.
Yeah,
All
well
right,
put, mate.
what were you going to say, Matt?
No, I just wanted to keep an eye on Bitcoin on a low time frame here. It's flirting. I think this is a little bit dangerous for Bitcoin right now. See, even that, look at that. Woof.
Yeah, we do have to wait till market opens. Let's see what the behavior is like in the Bitcoin ETFs. But right now, yeah, this is going to be pretty volatile going into market open.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'll just let you know, I'm not losing money on this trade, but it may be a break-even trade after it at worst, I think. I'd like to take some profit on it, 0.1 or something like that at least, but I'm not going to lose money on it.
All right. I don't have much else to say.
No, Me too.
So close us out.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Please visit tonevase.com, alphanumetrics.com. Please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Please use the affiliate links we have in the description. If you're interested in trading and you want to make money, please use the affiliate links in the description below. It helps me out a lot, and it's a fantastic thing to do. It's going to be really interesting tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We could have a cascade crash. We could have a fantastic burst through the all-time high. I don't know. You tell me. But I'll be acting accordingly, and I hope you do too. Thanks, Tone.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and see you all at this time tomorrow.